It's my distinct pleasure and honor to be back in the Bhakti House and to be amongst all of you. Thank you so much for making your time. And before I continue, I really want to convey my special thanks and gratitude to our hosts, Manish and Aditi, Mukharavinda and Ananga Gopika, as you know them. And they have been doing this for many years, and my deep gratitude. So before we start, we'll offer Mangalacharan prayers. And today, we will also, I will start with question and answers, and then before we go. And then, for those who, as people start coming in, those who are in the front, we can squeeze up and make place so that there will be enough space. It will be good. I'll let you know when we have to do that. Good? Yeah. I have been domesticated by my spiritual master. I promise I won't bite. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padman Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakhanvishanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namah Vishnupataya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. I'm so happy to see you all. Today we will continue where we left off. I think we were at the end of chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
If I can get it off. Please. Thank you. Do you know, almost the second last verse?
Last 40, 43.
Yeah, second last verse.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, I did promise you that I will answer any questions before we start on what we have discussed so far, especially the last class we had the karma and how we discussed who is responsible, because Arjuna asks Krishna that why does a man commit sinful activities as if somebody is pushing him or somebody is forcing her to make those choices. And Krishna mentions that it is that selfish passion that causes a person to act. And Krishna also says that there are three varieties of this particular lust that covers the human being. The smoke that covers the fire. Next, anybody remembers? Mirror, dust covering the mirror. And the third one is the embryo in the womb. And Krishna mentions that one has to regulate the senses so that otherwise this particular aspect can destroy one's jnana and yajña. It's mentioned in Gita. So we will, Krishna actually, because one of the common things people have is like, why am I impelled to do things? There are certain things that I know it is not good, but I will do it anyways. It might be my sudden burst of anger. It was completely unnecessary at that point of time, but somehow it happened. Or maybe there is a past proclivity or past predilection that I know is not good, but I still have it. I'll give a simple example. For example, if you have diabetes, then you are not advised to eat sweets. Yes or yes?
Yes.
But the past desire to eat sweets can be very overwhelming much to the detriment of your health. For some, it could be intoxication that can be tough. And it might seem hopeless. It might really seem hopeless at one point of time. Because doing it, you're feeling guilt. If you don't do it, you can't stay. And you're caught in this particular jam. But please understand that struggle is worth taking because it will give lasting happiness. I might not achieve perfection in 1 year, in 2 years, sometimes this lifetime. But please be assured that that particular aspect of it is weakened. It is not as strong as it. For example, when I start bhakti, I might find that the desires that I have are 3 miles below the surface. Like a tree that has the root. My root of desire is like 3 miles below the ground. And when I perform bhakti, it might seem nothing is happening, but the roots are getting destroyed. When roots are getting destroyed, everything seems okay on the surface, just like this. Like nothing is happening, but the roots are slowly getting destroyed. And bhakti has the power to destroy the desires to the root. Other processes will have some immediate effect. They have the power to destroy the branches. They have the power to destroy the trunk, the leaves, but the roots remain deep. And then as soon as the time comes, the rain comes, again it strikes. So please take hope that this is my struggle, this is my challenge, and this is my only mine to overcome. At the end of life, no person can help me. No, my parents, my sons, my wife, my community, doctors. At that point of time, everybody can say we can only pray. So it is worth the struggle. It's worth to take some time to invest in spiritual life, to kind of say this is now I've awakened to the human life. Let me take on to this challenge. Otherwise, I'm really going to be repeatedly taking birth and death in this world. It's not worth it.
So,
yes,
can I ask a question?
Of course. That's an idea.
One minute.
how does one actually know when they attain perfection?
उसको ऑन करो ऑन करो.
Hello? Yeah. How does one know when one attains perfection? Like even a pure devotee, he might not admit or even to himself that he may have reached perfection, right? So, what is the, like, not threshold, but the actual symptoms? I don't know how to say.
Yeah, it's a perfect word. Even don't love yourself. It's a perfect, beautiful word. Symptom is the most perfect word.
But even then he can fall down or he can still revert.
So, you have 2 or 3 questions. Let's take one question at a time.
Yeah.
Symptoms of perfection, let's start. Okay? Alright. Let's do verse 6, chapter 20, 21st verse. And for those who are flipping through the pages of beautiful Gita, that would be so 20th to 23rd, 275, page number 275.
21 to 23.
Yes, sir.
Yes, bro.
Kindly repeat after me. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam Pashyan atmani tushyati Sukham atyantikam yatta Buddhigrahyam atindriyam Veti yatra na chaivayam Stitaschalati tattvataha Yam ladva chaparam labham Manyate natikam tataha Yasmin stito na dukkhena Gurunapi vichayate Tam vidya dukkha samyoga Viyogam yoga samhitam Please do the translation.
In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material, mental activities by the practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and to relish and rejoice in the self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken even in the midst of greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact.
Good. So, thank you. So this is the symptoms of perfection, where you completely identify yourself as a spiritual being, nothing to do with matter. But this doesn't come overnight, it comes through practice of yoga. And Krishna explains that in this state, the gold and the stone is the same. And you will not be shaken from any trouble. This is a nice state to be in, right? No matter what trouble comes, you have that deep anchor of spirituality or self-realization platform that you will not be deviated. But shall I tell you even better happiness than this? It is mentioned that there are 3 kinds of happiness. first happiness is happiness when you enjoy your senses. And that happiness comes when the sense object is there, when the sense is in contact with the sense object, it is there, and then it is lost. And you can apply to anything. For example, if you want to eat rasgulla, or you are watching something, or you're going to a place, or anything you can see. The sense with contact with the sense object, it will give you a certain happiness. But Krishna is saying this is the lowest happiness. The reason is twofold. One is that this happiness actually has a beginning and an end. Because the soul is seeking unlimited happiness. The Atma proper is seeking unlimited happiness. It's not happy with the temporary happiness. I'll give an example. And you know what? Why not become Umesh? Nice, I like him. So he's going in the desert. And then, he's traveled a few miles in the desert and his water is run out. Seriously, he doesn't have any water. Then somehow or other he meets another person and that person is saying, I'm really thirsty, give me some water. And the person says, I'll give you. He says, yeah, sure, I have water. He says, open your mouth. And Umesh opens the mouth. We have those eye drops. You remember those eye drops? So he takes that eye drop thing, puts 5 drops into Umesh's mouth. He says, okay, that's it. How much happiness will 5 drops give? When you need gallons and gallons of water. So this kind of happiness, Krishna says, is there is some happiness, it's a beginning and end, but the soul wants unlimited happiness. So that's the reason people are not happy with what they get. And it is proven, it is called hedonistic treadmill. Look it up, I'm not making it. Hedonistic treadmill means that I aspire for something, I get it, and then the happiness level saturates. I need the next thing. Happiness level saturates. I need the next thing. Happiness. So no matter, it is like you are spinning, but you are not able to get happiness. It's called hedonistic treadmill. Hare Krishna. And so Krishna is saying that kind of happiness is like the lowest happiness. And it is available everywhere. You don't need to try too much for it. Hell, heaven, you have a body. Krishna is saying you will get some happiness, some distress, guaranteed. So that's what is called karma, that is called destiny, whatever you want to call it. But beyond the happiness is what the happiness we are describing. This is much higher happiness. And this is sukham atyantikam, like the happiness is unbounded. You experience unbounded joy. But this unbounded joy, our acharyas say, is like a drop of ocean compared to bhakti to Krishna. When one performs unmotivated, unconditional devotion to Krishna, the happiness is infinitely more than what you can experience here. The reason is, this is coming in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is Dhyana Yoga, where Krishna is saying that you go to the forest, you perform austerities, and the perfection of Dhyana Yoga is this. But at the end of the 6th chapter, Krishna says, all these yogis are great, but yoginam api sarvesham. He says that of all the yogis, those who worship me and those who serve me with faith, they are the highest. So, these are the grades. So at least if we can know, what are the grades of happiness, then you know how much I am, right? I mean, if you go to Meta and they will say they will give you $10,000 a year, then you say, okay, that's fine. But you don't know your own worth. And Krishna is saying that if you engage in lower acts of just senses and their sense objects, then you will not know your worth, how much you have had more of happiness stored. Ramya, so far so good? Alright. More questions, comments? Is that helpful?
Yes.
Alright. Then the second question is, how do we fall down from this happiness?
Can somebody?
Yes. So Brahman happiness, there is a possibility of fall down. The fall down happens usually in the form of aparadha or offenses to the devotees, or offenses to the lotus feet of Krishna. If you have always aspiring for lotus feet of Krishna, you will never fall down. But if you go through my own, I'll do tapa, yoga, jnana, I will get Brahman knowledge, I will be situated on Brahman, but because I am neglecting the lotus feet of Krishna, I will fall down. Is that helpful? Alright. Mataji, if you can't see me, if you want to sit up, you can pull up a chair for Mataji if you want. Alright.
No. For Rachit goes your mom.
Yes, please. Is that helpful?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sumit.
Thank you. And should we look up that verse? If you want to, we can look up that verse, but it's in there in Bhagavatam as well, but we'll leave it at that one. More questions, comments? Alright. So the point I was mentioning earlier about how I tend to do things that I regret later. And I was mentioning, for example, anger. It is like unprovoked anger for very small things. And then later you regret why. So, Krishna is saying in the 3rd chapter, if you identify with the mind which is the source of anger, then you will actually do what the mind says. But if you identify beyond the mind, then Krishna says that it will be helpful. And we'll look up those 2 verses. Good? 342 and 343. The final 2 verses. For those who want to have the book is, alright, kindly repeat. Should I continue?
Yes.
Thank you. Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param manah manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe paratastu saha.
The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence.
So here Krishna is giving gradation. He is saying that there is the sense and then heart, right? I can see it. My sense of touch. When I touch it, I can feel it. This is my skin. And when I touch the watch, I feel that it is different. So the senses are in the sense objects. But higher than the senses is the mind. Mind thinks, feels, generates, wills. That is mind. And beyond mind, Krishna says is intelligence. And beyond intelligence, Krishna says is the soul. And how do we know that? Think about it. For example, somebody wants to buy a Tesla car, and then, or any car for that matter. Then, the mind wants it. It's really nice, the color is nice, others have it, I should have it. And then the intelligence, the APR is too much, and then the depreciation goes, it's not the right time to buy the car, there is a markup on the car. You can see how internal battle is going on between intelligence that is trying to kind of curb the mind. If the mind, Krishna says, is uncontrolled, you just give it to the mind no matter what, the intelligence is very weak. And mind becomes like the extremely powerful thing that just rides people, that's all. And mind will literally take you for a ride. Literally. You go here, go there, go do this. And you'll be fatigued and exhausted. I've been satisfying the mind. But Krishna says, that even mind is never satisfied like that. The more you indulge the mind, the more the mind will say, let's do more. And there is no end. There is no vacation. There is no promotion. There is no nothing. You just keep on doing it. So then, Krishna says that through yoga, one has to strengthen one's intelligence. And then cut the sword of mind. in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to do this process of just curbing the mind. It was very difficult during Arjuna's time. With smartphones, good luck. But there is in Bhagavatam, there is a very beautiful verse. Should we look it up? That gives a very practical way on how to kind of curb this mind. It is 5th canto, 11th chapter, 31st verse, if I remember right. Okay, let me look it up. Starts with, let's see, maybe
Which one? 11:21.
5:11, last verse,
Oh, 5th canto.
5th canto, 11th. Maybe it's 31st, I don't remember now.
Last verse of the.
Yeah, let's do 11 or 13. Okay, last verse. Or let me also look it up.
Yeah, this is the
70.
17, thank you. Excellent. Kindly repeat after me. So before we discuss this verse, Bhagavad Gita actually Krishna gives instructions, and Bhagavatam is a testimonial to those instructions. Krishna says Sarva Dharma Antariteja. We discussed that verse, right? Many times we discussed. The essence of Gita is Sarva Dharma Antariteja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchaha. Krishna says, abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. I shall protect you from all sin, do not fear. Who is Krishna? Why should I surrender? And how do I know that he will protect me? Right? There should be some testimonial. Word of mouth, reference, yes or yes. Otherwise you just say surrender, how will I surrender? So Bhagavatam actually has the testimonial of those devotees who surrendered to Krishna, who worshipped Krishna. And you can see how Krishna protected them again and again from so many different calamities that came in. Going through time and again he protected him. Our country's Sanskrit name is what?
Bharat.
And it was named after whom? Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj is mentioned in Bhagavatam, where he gave up his kingdom, he gave up everything, his beautiful family, wife, children, and kingdom of, set kingdom, not like modern times. Once you get elected into the office, the concern is not public welfare. How do I remain in the office? Once I enter into the office, who are all gave me the campaign donations and how I can repay their favor. Because next time coming around, they will not give me money, I will lose. For Bharat Maharaj, there was no problem. He was lifelong king of this entire earth. But he gave up everything and he went to the forest. In the forest, he was performing severe austerities, worshipping the Supreme Lord in the form of Surya Narayana. 3 times a day he would bathe in the river, he would perform austerities and experience an exhilaration, a spiritual joy and exhilaration. One day while he was offering his ablutions in the river, he saw that a female deer, which was pregnant, was being chased by a tiger. And he was in that rivulet. Rivulet is like maybe the length of this room. He was when the water was flowing and he was offering his obeisance. It's okay. Right. Maybe that. And then he was in the water offering obeisances, and the deer was being chased by the tiger, fearing for its life and pregnant, and jumped over this river. And while he jumped over, in the mid-air, it gave birth to the baby deer of fear. And then the tiger and then the deer landed right in front of Bharat Maharaj. And the tiger was chasing the deer went to the cave, it died of that shock. It couldn't take that shock to the system. And Bharat Maharaj thought that providence, destiny, has placed this deer in my care. And he raised that deer as his own. Every day he would make sure that the deer was taken care of. In fact, he would be performing his austerities. Where is the deer? The deer was okay. The deer was fed. One day he couldn't see the deer, he was afraid. Maybe some tiger has eaten the deer. Or maybe, the deer doesn't love me anymore and he's left away. Slow by slow, his attention started getting diverted from spiritual practices to the deer. When the time of death came, because the consciousness was absorbed in the deer, Krishna says, whatever consciousness you are absorbed in at the time of death, that you will be in the next life without fail. In the next life, you became a deer. Now the question will come is, you just told me Krishna will protect. Correct? Sarva dharman paritijya mamika. This is really too much. Why didn't he protect Maharaj Bharat from not becoming a deer? Because from human life to deer life is a demotion. Yes or yes? But this is the beauty. Krishna doesn't interfere. He himself said that whatever you think of at the time of death, you will be that in the next life without fail. Now, after saying that, why would Krishna contradict his own words? So he allowed him to become a deer, but with a twist. You want to know the twist?
Yes.
He never lost his memory as to why he became a deer. He remembered, I was a great yogi and a king in my previous life, but because of the attachment to an insignificant deer, I became a deer in this life. This is such a bad mistake on my part. And in the deer life, he maintained extreme caution. He didn't intermingle too much with other deer. He was wandering around the sage's hermitage so that he wouldn't fall again into that trap. And he waited, he bided his time in that deer's body. And when he died in that deer's body, next life he became Jadabharat, one of the most powerful self-realized souls. He was, and the self-realization, or what is the platform of self-realization, or the symptoms of self-realization, it comes in from the life of Jadabharat. And Bhagavatam has beautiful, powerful 2 or 3 chapters describing his glories, and we can talk about it, but it will be a very tangential topic because we were on the mind control portion of it. So, and just to give few symptoms of a liberated soul, you can judge from the fact that Jadabharat, he was because he was in that exalted state, he was very quiet, and he appeared to the world as a retarded person, deaf, dumb, a completely clueless person, and people would treat him as such. People would treat him worse than an animal, and he would tolerate all of it. In Bhagavatam gives one example, is that sometimes he would get opulent food, sometimes he would get normal food, sometimes he would get food in lot of quantity, sometimes the food he got was very little, sometimes he got fresh food, sometimes he got little stale food, sometimes he got perfectly cooked, sometimes he got burnt food. This is the characteristics or the symptoms of a liberated soul. He saw the food, every food that came, as nectar. So if every food that comes on your plate, if you treat it as nectar, then you are a self-realized soul. Till that point, there is a work in progress. Because you don't see that, you don't see your tongue that is coming in and your mind coming in that food. You see that, this body is just, and one way to compare is, you don't care where you fill the gas. as long as it's a gas that is maintaining your car. Yes, sir. Yes. I mean, you don't go to your petrol or gasoline car and put diesel in it. That you won't do. But as long as the car is running, you will not care where the gasoline is. So, because he identified not with the body but with Atma, whatever food he came, he thought it was by the grace of God. And so Krishna is maintaining me, he's feeding me, so he would accept it like that. So one day Jada Bharat actually, and whatever it is mentioned in Bhagavatam, that whatever work he had to do to maintain himself, he would do it. It doesn't matter where it came from. So one day, Rahugana was a king of Shauvira. And one day, of course in those days the kings would go in what? Palanquin. How many people are needed for palanquin? Engineers? 4. Thank you. So one day, one of the palanquin bearers fell sick or became indisposed, vacation, PTO, whatever you want to call it. And then they were looking for another person. And they found Jada Bharat. Hey, this fellow is hefty, good. Well, let's come. Go. But here was the problem though. Jada Bharat was not keeping up pace with the other palanquin carriers. You have to be on the same pace. If you are not on the same pace, then it will jerk. And why Jada Bharat was not keeping pace? He was looking out for ants. He didn't want to step on ants. He was walking and suddenly he saw an ant, he tried to sidestep it. And who was feeling the effects of this?
The king.
Exactly. He was getting jostled, he was getting hotly pushed and puffed around. And he's like, hey, palanquin bearers, go nicely, otherwise I'm going to off with your head. Because in those days the kings would just lop off your head and you would do nothing about it. So after that they said, oh Maharaj, Jesus, we didn't do this. There is this new person that joined. He is not keeping pace with us. Yeah, he is the person who is causing it. And then Maharaj Rahugana, he chastises Jada Bharat. He, in a very sarcastic way. He was young and stout, but then Maharaj Rahugana said, oh, you must be so old and weak, that's why you are not able to do it, and all that. And then Jada Bharat actually starts telling that king about, he says, I am a self-realized soul. And then Rahugana comes to his senses, my God, I have offended such an exalted saint. He comes down from his palanquin, he falls at the feet of Jada Bharat. And Jada Bharat, his appearance was also equally not great. I mean, like he wouldn't bathe for a few days, his Brahman thread was black, and he was completely deaf, dumb, mute, and the appearance also was such that people didn't care. And then Maharaj Rahugana realized, oh my goodness, what did I do? Because it is mentioned in Bhakti Path that, aparat to exalted soul or offending him, even kings in those days would be very afraid of it, to offend a Brahman or a saint or a sadhu. Because they had the power to convert them into a mouse. First time I was a king and now I am a mouse in the palanquin and running away. So then the conversation happens between Rahugana and Jada Bharat. And this verse actually, Jada Bharat is telling Rahugana how to control the mind. In the previous days, you had the process of yama, niyama, restraint of breath and this and that. But in this age, there is a very easy way to control. You want to know the secret?
Yes.
And it's worth knowing the secret. It is worth the price of your admission that you've been charged today. Alright, kindly repeat after me. Pratravyamenam tadadabraviryam. Okay, I'll go slow. Pratravyamenam tadadabraviryam. Upekshayadyeditamapramataha. Guror Hare's Charanam Jahi Vyalikam Swayamaatmamosham.
Jahi Vyalikam Swayamaatmamosham.
Pratravyamenam tadadabhraviryam.
Pratravyamenam tadadabhraviryam.
Upekshayadhyeditamapramataha.
Upekshayadhyeditamapramataha.
Guror Hares Charanophasanastro.
Guror Hares Charanophasanastro.
Jahi Vyalikam Swayamaatmamosham.
Jahi Vyalikam Swayamaatmamosham.
Alright, somebody can read the translation, please.
This uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy.
This uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and will become victorious. Although it is not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O King, please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Do this with great care.
So this is Guru Hari's Charan Upasana. So Guru and Hari Charan Upasana. So it is worshipping the lotus feet of Guru and Hari. Guru Hari's Charana Upasana. And what is that? It is when you do service to your Guru and Hari Charan, that becomes an astra. That becomes an astra, a weapon to defeat this enemy of mind. And do it with a great care. So if you, one of the very practical ways of advancing in spiritual life is to approach a guru who can actually lead you on this path and render faithful service, because of which you get a weapon. Otherwise, if you don't have a weapon, for example, if you want to go to the boxing match, you go to the boxing match and that fellow is very powerful, and then you have nothing, no training, no gloves, nothing. How much chance do you have? This is exactly Krishna says here. 43. This is exactly what Krishna says in the next verse, 343.
Why is
Yeah.
Why is it do this with great care?
Because if you do neglectful, Hare Baba, if you go to office and if your boss gives you a project,
Okay.
careless or careful? Yeah, if the boss gives a project, you're so careful. The word used here today is called attention to details. Yes or yes? Got it? Because you are dealing with a formidable boss who has the power, you better satisfy him. So, in the same way, if I have to satisfy or do seva to Guru and Hari, Hari Charan, and do it with great care. Otherwise, you will not get the weapon. Astra. Alright. Krishna gives the same thing. Yes.
But then, should I be like, is it scary? Like, should I be frightened, like, from the Lord, or should I? Because this will, I mean, if I won't be careful, like, it's a two-way thing. Like, if I will be more careful, then I might fall. I don't know. Or Lord won't be happy if I won't do it properly. Then I will fall.
So, this is the beauty of path of bhakti. If mind is beating me on one end, if I go to God, He will beat me on another end. Might as well stay with the mind. But no, Krishna is extremely merciful. Krishna is extremely kind. Krishna is extremely generous and tolerant. He is such a beautiful person that if you do something really small, he takes it as a great, oh, what a great thing this my devotee has done. And he has a great offense or a great mistake or a fault in you. He says, it's just a small fault. That is the quality of Krishna. It is worth approaching Krishna. It is worth serving Krishna. Please have no doubt about it. I think, if I remember right, I don't CC, the verse number is 108, but I don't remember which one it is. CC, let's try. CC Antya. We should, because you asked that question, thank you for asking. It's really, really important. Otherwise, I will bring up two verses that really say how beautiful is Krishna. For me, I would rather, I'll never give up service of Krishna, even if he has to punish me to rectify me. Because his punishment is sweet. And Maya's blessings is harsh. Thank you. It's Bhratruvya me, no. Vrityasya pashyati guru aparadam. I'll look it up. Vrityasya pashyati. Let's see if I can find
I
that.
think 108 I found.
What? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. And you do the translation because you asked the question.
Where's my home?
Can you repeat after me? Vrityasya pashyati gurum naparadam.
Vrityasya pashyati gurunam
Vrityasya pashyati gurum api naparadam.
Vrityasya pashyati gurunam aparadam.
Sevam managapi kritam bahuda vyupaiti.
Seva managami kritam bahuda vyupaiti.
Avishkaroti pishuneshvapinabhyasuyam.
Avishkaroti shuneshvapinabhyasuyam.
Shilena nirmalamati purushottamoyam.
Shilena nirmalamati purushottamoyam.
Vrityasya pashyati gurum apinaparadam.
Vrityasya pashyati gurunam aparadam.
Sevam managapi kritam bahuda vyupaiti.
Seva managapi kritam bahuda vyupaiti.
Avishkaroti pishuneshvapinabhyasuyam.
Avishkaroti pishuneshvapinabhyasuyam.
Shilena nirmalamati purushottamoyam.
Shilena nirmalamati purushottamoyam.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Purushottama, the greatest of all persons, has a pure mind. He is so gentle that even if his servant is implicated in a great offense, he does not take it very seriously. Indeed, if his servant renders some small service, the Lord accepts it as being very great. Even if an envious person blasphemes the Lord never manifests anger against him. Such are his great qualities.
Krishna is great. He's infinitely great. It's worth knowing him, worth taking shelter of him, worth surrendering unto him, and worth serving him. Take my word for it. What?
He says, Tan aham vijita kruram sansarejo naradham. He says, I will take some revenge, he says.
That is for the demoniac people.
No, this will he blasphemes a lot. And this person, that is demoniac.
Yeah, but Shishpal he never showed anger. He just stopped him. He just killed him. And then when he killed him, he was liberated. So tell me.
That is what he told you, right?
Yeah, but the point is that is his qualities. It's not mentioned here that become envious, right?
Yeah, I guess it's still valid because it says this one says that they never manifest anger against him. Anyway, that even if they goes down, that is for the purification only.
Exactly. Might as well go against Krishna in one way or other. Doesn't matter. It's mentioned. Actually, I am not making it up. It's there mentioned. It doesn't matter. Kama, Dvesha, Bhaya, Sneha. This is like Kama through lusty desires. Kama, Dvesha. Dvesha means envy, anger, hatred. Bhaya, out of fear. Sneha, friendship. Through bhakti. One way or other, people have obtained Krishna. The point is that envious people, or what Govind Prabhu mentioned comes in the 16th chapter, these demoniac people have no idea of Krishna. But even if you are a demon, you have complete attachment to Krishna through anger, fear or envy, you will still obtain Krishna. But the demoniac people, they don't have idea of Krishna and they commit offenses, and Krishna has to punish them accordingly. Yes.
So, just a while ago we discussed that whatever we do, we'll face the consequence of that. So, just we gave, like Bharata, he was too attached to a deer and he faced the consequences. You were just saying that Lord is so merciful, you're doing big sin and then you're just maybe not getting due punishment because of the mercy. So is mercy even needed? Like, is it a thing we should seek? And why Lord is being merciful? Why is not justful?
So please understand that the devotees of the Lord are not sinful. I am a bhakta, now I can do as many sins as I can. The idea is that perchance, if you are implicated in a sin, Krishna will protect you. It is accidental. Not that I have Krishna's protection, I can do whatever I want. That is not the purpose here. The devotees are very careful actually to not commit sins. But in case they are committed, in case by perchance it happens, then Krishna is saying that I will protect you.
But that's what I asked, like, still it's their act, right? And they have to face the consequence of this. I know that the intention is not there, but still the act is there.
So then, what's the point in serving Krishna? If I am getting my due without Krishna, might as well not serve Krishna. Why should you pay taxes? April 15th, just coming around. Why? Because might as well not pay taxes. Because you pay taxes, you get, you will be free. You will be getting some protection. You will be getting constitutional rights. It is a crude example, but the idea is Krishna is the only personality who can save you from this material world.
Okay.
And in the material world, because we commit so many faults, at least Krishna is saying, I am here. A father who is a very successful businessman who wants his son to kind of succeed, the son might commit mistakes, yes, starting the business. But there is father's protection so that the son doesn't wantedly commit mistakes. But the father is saying, okay, because you have taken my shelter, I'll help you. And that is Krishna's promise, that if you surrender unto me, then I will protect you. Is that helpful? No? Ask more questions, it's okay. Go threadbare.
Even you surrender, the thing is like, it's a journey and you can fall anywhere when you're on the path. So when you fall, that means you fall, you are no more on the path, right? And how does Krishna saves you there?
You fall on the path, Krishna will pick you up. Because if Krishna cannot pick me up, then why surrender to Krishna? Anyway, it's my journey. How is he helping me if I fall? And why is he saying Sarva Dharman Paritijya Mamik Aham Tvam Sarva, I'll protect you from all sins. Because in this world it is impossible to be not sinful. Impossible. I mean, how many times in the rainy season you are walking on the road, completely like, in your own world, very pious person, you heard the crunch of a snail under your foot. Crush it. It was unintentional, but you did it. And who's supposed to know? Krishna said, oh my God, you crushed a snail. Okay, you are useless. No. Because the thing is, it was unintentional. He had no intention to commit violence against his living beings. So Krishna is saying, this is the world that it is, that you are going to be facing these kind of things. Arjuna was facing the same thing. He said, I have to kill my family and the teachers. That is a sinful thing. Krishna is saying, you are doing it for me, it's not sin. So, the very fact that and we need protection, yes or yes. One way or other, you need protection. Nobody can say, I don't need protection. So, the ultimate protection comes from Krishna. And my very nature is, I need to seek protection. I have to seek protection from somewhere, might as well seek from Krishna. Makes sense?
Why do you say that you need protection? Like,
You don't need protection?
I don't know.
Next class, deeply think about it. We'll come back. Because right from the word go, we need protection. You are born what? You are born as a Stanford professor with your own kid. You are born helpless baby. You need protection when you are young. And if you are single, I'm single, I'm earning a lot of money. Think about it, about how this world is such a place where you can be easily manipulated, duped, and people can cheat you of your money or more. And think about it, this you need protection at every step. And you carefully think about it. I don't want to put ideas in your mind. But if you think you don't need protection and I'm independent, then you're wrong. More questions? Yes, let's go threadbare.
So when I say about protection, it's not protection just physically and mentally. It's like what you seek. Protection about the idea of what I seek.
What do you seek?
That's what I was talking about when I say do I need protection or like where I am heading. So when you say that we should serve the Lord, and you also gave the example that why are we serving, and there are some testimonies, but are the testimonies the only thing which will help us to be
what?
To be in the path and to serve, have this urge or like the need to serve the Lord.
So why do you think we shouldn't serve? Or why do you think we should need protection? At all. I'm good. From what perspective you think you should need protection? I also mentioned that my past, I don't know. Correct? I'm an Atma. I'm journeying through many, many bodies. I don't know my past life. I don't know my future. I don't have control on it. And if you think, not sure, I have a question. Did you get a menu card before you were born? Male, female body, American, Indian, rich, poor, fair skin. Did you get? No, you are born. The very fact that you are helplessly born into this world in a certain family means that you have no say in where you are going next life. Now that I am in this life, I am in this body, next life I will be in another body and I don't have a choice or a say in the decision making of what I will get. Then am I not helpless? Like, where am I heading to? Who is giving me these bodies? I don't want this body. People have so many sex change operations. I'm a man trapped in woman's body, but I'm a woman trapped in man's body. I'm a man trapped in the woman's body, but I'm not a man. So the question is, who is giving you all this? Who is putting you in this? Somebody is in a dog's body, somebody is in a horrible situation, somebody is in a good. Who is putting you in this? You are an Atma or a spirit soul and you are traversing and you have no say. Right now, as you are born, as you are today, You'll be born in another body. And nobody can say, no, I don't need protection. When death comes, who's going to give protection? Death, everybody has to die. And who is going to give protection at the time of death? Nobody.
If I am going to get another body, then that is not even a thing. Like, there's no point of having protection from the death. If it's just a...
Okay, if you want to continue Krishna is saying, sure, go for it. Sometimes you will get a body of a bird. Sometimes you get the body of a beast. Sometimes it's a tree. You'll suffer like this in this world. Continue. Who's stopping? But there is no guarantee you will get a human life. And you might think, it was nice, yaar. It doesn't matter. Kya farak pad raha hai? You know, it's like I've seen birds and bees. They seem to be nice.
Yeah.
They are like, enjoying life. Can we play, if we are in this way, can we play, go to YouTube?
Yeah.
आराम का जिंदगी है उनका. It's nice life. Doesn't matter. In this way, I'll continue. Arctic geese. Arctic. A-R-T-A. Arctic geese. G-E-E-S-E. Geese.
Cutting geese.
G-E-E-S-E.
G-E-E-S-E.
Yeah. Yes, the first one.
Very sad.
Sorry?
Very sad.
That is true. That is true. Animal life, people think is incredibly harsh and hard. In the human form of life, at least we have a kitchen. We have, as soon as the babies are born, you have diapers and you have hospitals and parents to go into the kitchen and make food for them and so on and so forth. Then the mother can't even feed the chick. The chick has to drop down to eat. And here is the dilemma, look at that. I'm just born now. If I don't eat for 36 hours, I will starve. But I can't eat food that is a mile away. Think about the dilemma. This struggle, so that's why it is mentioned, Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitunamcha Samanyamitat Pashubhinam. Their beautiful family had a home on the top of the cliff. They had children and they have to eat, they have to sleep, they have to defend. But the crow came and ate the first chick and there was no question of filing a FIR report or calling 911. That's it, you're done. It is an extremely, extremely harsh life as far as the non-human life goes. The same food is there, the same hunger is there, the same desire to fear is there. In fact, fear is much more. So in the human form of Krishna says, okay, it's fine. You can go up and down. I'm not saying that you'll be a geese in the next life. But it's a chance possibility you can be. Because the human life can go up, human life can go down. So who's giving me protection for this? So it's better in the human form of life. I understand why should I struggle with this material world time and again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatari. Why should I face this horrible thing when I'm a pure Atma or a spirit soul and I'm not of this world? I don't need to be struggling in this world. And Krishna is saying, just surrender unto me, I'll pull you out from this material existence. But if you think I am the Lord and Master, Krishna is saying, okay, he can continue. That geese is thinking, I am the Lord of this house. I am the boss of this house. Exactly like a man in this world. Krishna is saying, as long as you have that mentality, you'll go up, you'll go down, and that is your choice. As an Atma or a spirit soul, I have a choice whether I don't want this life or I want this life. If I don't want this life, then Krishna is saying, just get out of this life and you surrender unto me, I'll protect. It's your choice. You can experience this life, or you can experience other lives. And please understand, I have experienced these lives innumerable number. Sometimes I was a bird, sometimes I was Arctic geese, experiencing the same thing. Sometimes I was a lion, sometimes I was a tiger, a bird, a beast, a fish, insect. There are 8,400,000 species of life, and Krishna is saying, based on your desires, I will give you birth in any of these families. Yes, Anuka.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. We discussed earlier that whatever consciousness we are in at the time of leaving our bodies is what you attain in your next birth, right? Now, I have two questions. They're sort of similar. One scenario is where let's say like a human being is leaving their body, and at that moment, they are, let's say, too attached to their kids. They're only thinking of them. What happens when they are in the process of taking birth again? Because the kids are alive, obviously.
The kids or even family or wife. So there is a story in Bhagavatam where there is a story of King Puranjana. And Puranjana was the king, and he was too attached to his queen. And it's a long story, but the short gist of it is that as he was being attacked by Chandavega, who's time personified attacks everybody. When time comes, it's like attack on your body. This body is like 9 gates, city of 9 gates. But then when time comes, there are soldiers rushing through the body of the 9 gates and then destroying the city. Same way our body is getting destroyed. So when Puranjana the time had come, then his consciousness was that, oh, I'm leaving my wife and she has so many children, she has to take the responsibility of the children, who will maintain her. And his mind was absorbed in thinking of his wife. In the next life, he became a woman. So, again, Krishna says that. The one last point is that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that those who die in the mode of goodness go to the planets of demigods and sages. Those who die in the mode of passion stay on this earth. Those who die in the mode of ignorance, they go down into animal kingdom and species. So, the modes of material nature combined with our consciousness and our thinking, it creates a new body. So that's why in this life, if you have like a regulated lifestyle, Krishna is saying at least you are guaranteed a human form of life. It will save you from the greatest fears, this yoga. So at least Krishna says in the next life, you pursue. Unless you get one fine morning, I decide, forget all this, I'm really attached to a dog and dog is my life, or I'll search and go off to Africa and research gorillas, and gorillas are my life and soul and my life partner and everything, then you'll be a gorilla in the next life. But because people are sane, they'll say, why should I get attached to things that are not related to Krishna? And Krishna says the same thing. You think of me at the time of death, you'll come to me. So it's your choice. Yes, go ahead.
So when Krishna says that if you don't have worldly attachments and you only have attachment to me, is when you come to me. So does that mean that then eternal life is promised, or when you
So it's not like, oh, I give up, it's like a 1 or zeros, not 1 or zeros. Krishna is 1, everything is 0. That is not the way. Everything belongs to Krishna. Through 0, I will slowly 0.01, 0.02 and cultivate all the way up to 1. So while we are living, we don't hate this world, or we don't get detached from the world to the point we become disgusted by it. We say that everything belongs to Krishna, so I will use whatever is needed for his service. And I don't hate matter, because matter is powerful and can be used in service of Krishna. For example, why do you worship the murtis that apparently are made of brass, lifeless, no words, no talk? We are superior Atmas, we are inferior. They are all inferior because they are just jada padartha, either they are wood or stone or something like that. What is the point in doing abhishek and offering food when they can't even eat? The point is that Krishna can eat even within matter, because he's inhering in matter. And that's why the murtis in the temple where they are worshipped reverentially are non-different from the Lord. Because he can pervade the matter. And that matter actually becomes supremely spiritual, because Krishna can convert matter into spirit and spirit into matter. So you don't hate matter just because it is matter. You cultivate attachment to Krishna, you will not see matter, but you will see Krishna in everything. And that is the stage of actual advancement. Is that helpful? Because we take prasad. If we get prasad, what do you do? Take prasad. Yo, prasad. Yes? Why? What is so special about that prasad that you are offering it reverentially? And when somebody gives you something non-prasad, you just pop it in the mouth, no reverence, correct? So it is because that prasad is spiritualized by Krishna's mercy. More questions?
Yeah, I did have one more.
Yes, please.
So, at the time of again leaving your body, if let's say one was not attached per se to anyone or anything, was spiritually sound, in the sense that not like hating the world, but understanding that it's temporary and to not have crazy amounts or insane amounts of attachment to one particular being or matter, but was also not somebody that was very like engrossed in Krishna either, but was living a relatively spiritual life. What happens to those kind of people?
Depends on how do you define spirituality. If spirituality, it is like modern version of spirituality where I don't know what is the modern version. I am spiritual with no context on why you are spiritual. I am a very spiritual person. I want to know how you are a spiritual person. Just because you like to tag yourself as spiritual with no clue on what spiritual is, or you have some spirituality, some religiosity in form of following a religion and studying scriptures, whether be it, the Puranas or Vedas or even Bible or Quran, very seriously studying and trying to research the truth, or you are just like a spirituality because I go do yoga every month. People that yoga, spirituality has become synonymous with yoga. That is not spiritual. That is your whole being is still absorbed in matter. The detachment that comes from service to Krishna, that slowly will wean you away from matter or material things. But if you are that kind of spiritual person with no connection to spirituality, you will be born again in this material world. Maybe you are some in mode of goodness. Maybe you will have some like good, but it all.
But human.
Yeah, human. Maybe. Again, no guarantee. Yeah. You are a spiritual person doing yoga once a month, but I am attached too much to my dogs, 4 dogs. Yeah. Good luck. I only say that much. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, coming to the verses that you shared today, you described the qualities of a self-realized soul, and we also discussed the qualities of the Lord, Purushottam. So, my question is regarding a devotee. What are the qualities of a good devotee? In the sense, somebody who is just a beginner versus somebody who is, the right next to Krishna, who is already, how do you...
3 levels of devotees. The beginner, the intermediate, the advanced. That is one aspect of discussing. And we also can discuss the qualities of what the devotee is. And there are 26 qualities of devotees. So it will take a long time. But and we look at those qualities, then we will understand a little bit of what we are and how to kind of handle that. Right? So for example, one of the qualities that is mentioned is a well-wisher of all, who is kind to all, who thinks of how to do good to others, is one of the qualities of a devotee. Tolerant. There are 26 qualities. We can discuss one by one. That will take another 2-3 classes. But at least we can discuss in a nutshell. Is that okay? We can do it in the next class. Because if I discuss everything in one class, then
Yes.
Is that okay? But excellent. We'll do that next class. Thank you. Please remind me. And that verse is in Bhagavatam. Actually, I'll pull up the verse. 26 qualities.